maybe the most interesting thing going on in baseball right now, with all due respect to the Blue Jays, Mariners, Dodgers, and Brewers, is there's a lot of activity that is due to happen as soon as the World Series ends. Obviously, a lot of big free agents, headlined by Kyle Tucker and Pete Alonso. And right here at home, the Red Sox have a number of personnel decisions to make. We teased a little bit about them as the regular season came to an end. Bregman is obviously an opt out, is not alone in that. But I, we're obviously looking at a really what has to be a busy offseason. And the Red Sox, the last couple of winners, have had the potential to build some momentum in the winter and go into the year. And they kind of finally picked that up this past winter, although it took them a while with Crochet and Bregman. Now coming off a postseason appearance, how big is it that they have kind of another buzzworthy or at least like an offseason that looks like they're trying from a player standpoint to keep their very strong viewership numbers that they like to peacock this season climbing in 2026.
Young
They
viewers.
had good, they had good ratings this summer.
Uh,
Th-
in one way that it was presented
I
in
hope
this
they
Saw
year.
made
that.
a lot of money. I really
Yeah.
do. I hope they are printing bills down in Watertown. Um, they found
Yeah.
some money this year, so there is that as well. I don't know. Like, part of me is like they have to go do something because that's the natural next step. But like, I also don't want Pete Alonso at 7 years, $200 million either. So I'm already like opening myself up to be a bit of hypocrite or speaking out of both sides of my mouth. I think clearly you look at you look at the playoffs right now. You look at what the Dodgers are doing. You look at what the Mariners are capable of doing. You project ahead next year to what the Yankees might be able to do if if Garrett Cole is healthy with Garrett Cole, Max Fried, Cam Schlittler. Like people are already talking about if they go out and get Tarek Skubal. The Red Sox absolutely, positively need to put a priority on finding a number two pitcher, and like that to me is the more important thing because I think you can bake in some projection for the offense with like a full season of Roman Anthony, assuming he's healthy, and maybe they bring back Alex Bregman. That one's like a tough one to figure out. Like part of me does wonder if they already have some sort of handshake agreement in place that kind of changes things. But I saw Rob Bradford talking yesterday about the fact that like Boris has to be licking his lips because Bregman gets out of his contract and now does not have what's it called? Why can't I think of it? Qualifying offer attached to him. So like teams are going to be far more willing to give Alex Bregman a contract, which is what we've seen like in the past with other free agents who get those deals where they sign they get an opt out and then they get out of it. And now they feel like they've got a lot more flexibility because they don't have that comp pick attached to them. So yeah, I think number two pitcher has to be the priority. We're already seeing stuff like Hunter Green being a potential option if they go out and trade for him with the Reds. That's an idea that I'm not totally against. I don't love him as a pitcher just because like it's almost throw the ball through a wall and go from there. And he kind of fits their absolute desire and uh, lust for velocity, and that is what it is. I do like guys who throw hard as well, but like I would like to find a guy who maybe pitches a little bit better than that. But like that's the sort of deal where if you're gonna trade Jaron Duran and one of the young pitchers and you get back a Hunter Green, like I do think that that's an interesting proposition. I think that's more along the lines of what I think they should be looking to do, like getting creative in the trade market as opposed to splashing the pot. But like I also don't think if they are in the running for one of these guys, whether it's Bregman or Alonso at a shorter term deal or whatever, like this is the time to start spending money. And like that's the thing that you hear from the Red Sox and the Red Sox front office and the media and whatever is like when the Red Sox have a chance to contend, they spend money. And so like they clearly have a chance to contend. So now's the time to go spend money. So like I don't want them to get if they're doing this like thing where they're only half in on guys, that's gonna annoy me because it's go time now. But like I just think they get horned up over value too much sometimes too. So it's a tough one to figure out. I really don't know. Like, and the Bregman thing really kind of does not set it off on a good tone, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think everything that Mike said, I think that number two pitcher is the most important too. I would say they do need to retain Bregman, and I think you need to overspend a little bit if that's kind of what happens. Because I also was thinking though, like, what's more likely to happen in terms of like Bregman's deal? Because if he had 2 and 80 left, like, would he really take, I don't know, 3 for 90 or 3 for 100? Like, I don't know. I
Yes.
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it sounds like so stupid, but it's a difference at, I guess, what, $10 million. So it's a big difference in the scheme of me and you. But like, to these guys,
I think
is
it's
it worth like opting out for a difference of $10 million? I'm not sure. But if he does have that handshake, then yes, I would say, maybe it was kind of done behind the scenes, and it was saying, if you're opt out of this, we'll get you for 3 for 90 or something like that, and then that's what he returns on.
he also doesn't. Boris probably. I would like to take that, not take it back totally, but like I also don't know how many handshake agreement deals Boris is doing in this situation. You know what I mean? That doesn't seem like his
Yeah.
mo. So I'm already backtracking.
Sean, showing your owner mindset tendencies is just scoffing at what's $10 million.
Yeah, I know,
Ten
and
million bucks, to
that's what I mean. Like,
to Sean.
I know it sounds stupid, but I don't know. Like, what if he doesn't get that again? Like,
Yeah, it is kind of crazy that that's like
he
an
went through it
owner.
last year. It was certainly underwhelming to what he probably thought he got, like, when he signed last year. Um, and I don't know. Like, if you have 80 million coming to you without doing anything else, would you essentially walk away from that in hopes of getting 90? I don't know.
I just think it's funny that like owners and peasants like us have the same approach to that, despite having the same like nowhere near the same amount of money and worldview. But like the players, the guys who actually are getting the money, see. Sean, what would you do with $10 million?
I I can't even think about it.
That's a lot.
So like
That's
it
a
doesn't
lot
matter
of
if you have.
B. That's a lot of
Yeah,
B removal
exactly, dude.
service.
Get rid of your bees real fast. So like $10 million is a lot of money. I don't
Yeah.
feel like we need to take a huge detour here to talk about the value of $10 million, but like I
It's
I
worth
fundamentally
literally millions of dollars.
yeah, like I intellectually understand the point that you're making, but $10 million is still $10 million no matter the situation. Like if you found $10 million under the couch, it'd be a nice day. Like that so like yeah, I think it makes a difference. Like it
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I want to see them do is like, yeah, obviously I want to see them make moves, make big signings, whatever. But I want to see proof that they're not, or more proof that they're not too much in love with their own players. Like I think like Duran's, I understand that people like him, but you can't fall too much in love with that guy. And I understand like the contributions that Giolito and Story made this year. But if you can have someone who can approximate that, that for either less than you can go and invest somewhere else, or is younger. Like I just don't want to see an approach where they're frozen, kind of from Grosche. They had to give something up, and that was why I liked that deal. Like more as much as just making like the monetary investment of saying like, okay, like yeah, we like Kyle Teal, but we can get a guy who is now like a total like difference maker at the top of our rotation. And like, yeah, you can like Christian Campbell or you can like David, whatever his name was, or Jaron Duran, or what's the second baseman's name? David, what's his face? That they Hamilton continue to think that for some reason this guy can be a starting second baseman.
They were basically like, talking about him like he was untouchable.
Yeah, like you can like Rafaela, but like I just don't fall too much in love with what you've got unless it's Roman Anthony.
I do think, and I might be proven wrong, but like I think they look at, uh, I think the guys that they're most likely to trade are Duran, Mayer, maybe even Abreu.
Yeah.
They are going to trade guys that they haven't signed. Like that's the thing, right? And like so I think Christian Campbell's staying because they think there's surplus value there. I think Ceddanne Rafaela is staying because they think he's a 3-win player last year, which is worth $60 million. So we're keeping him because he's making 8 or whatever. So like I think you look at the guys that haven't been signed to contract extensions; those are the guys who are most likely to be moved. And I will say though, like the Giolito one is an interesting one. Like I actually think Giolito is a guy that they should re-sign as like that should be proof of we're willing to spend money when it doesn't make total sense. But that needs to be in addition to. Like it's not
Yes.
it's $22 million. It's the qualifying offer to Giolito to be the number 4
Yeah.
as opposed to like the qualifying offer to have Giolito be the number 2 or 2.5 like he was this year. Like that's where I think the difference is like I don't have a problem with guys like that, but like that needs to be in addition. That
Yes.
needs to be like we're going to get uncomfortable on a short term financially because we have a chance to win right now and we see the value in this sort of player.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I guess the best way to put it is Giolito and also like guys like Story and even Duran, like they are good regular season investments. Like you need to make investments in that in like a Giolito to
Somebody
give
has
you
to play
starts.
the games of pitch
Yeah, to get you there. But like to your point, like you also then need to have that, Garrett Crochet or whoever else to make you more than just a 90 win threat in the regular season. Yeah.
And my fear with them too is they're going to fall in love with what Connolly Early did in a very small sample size and Peyton Tolley did in a very small sample size and be like, we're comfortable if we have to go into the season with both of those guys in the starting rotation. That's how I think you run into trouble too.
Yeah, no, I mean we've seen that with like Cutter Crawfords and Tanner Houcks and all that. So let's get uncomfortable.
Just to go back, Bleacher Report, 5-year 175 is what they projected for Bregman, and there's a Spotrac is 4 years and 110 is his market value on. So I would opt it out too.
So like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm fine with 4 years if we can get him for 4 years.
Oh, I am saying for him, like
that's what I meant to. I would have opted out as well.
Yeah, I think he's gonna try for more than 4 years. But if I'm the team and I'm doing, I think 4 years is.
I don't know if he's. So this is where again I'm just speaking on both sides. Like, I don't know if he's worth it. Did he have that good of a season? Like. He was hurt, so
missed like
he's
40
so
games,
good
right?
defensively. And if they think that the defense can age, then bring him back. Because like, it's watching him play third base. You're like, holy, this guy is. That's a pro's pro defensively.
Yeah.
The offense kind of left a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. But you did see it in a very small sample size in the playoffs that having
There's
adults is beneficial.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in addition to like the leadership thing, though, there's also I think there's something in terms of like the Red Sox knowing what the outside is saying, and if you sign Bregman to 1 year and then traded Devers because you pissed Devers off, and then you lost Bregman, I think that comes back to not look good, and I think they're conscious of those sorts of things. So I think that might be another reason why they kind of, extend themselves more.
If something like that does happen, that's borderline fireable for Craig Breslow. Not necessarily just because it's like a bad roster; it's just poor asset management. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And maybe he's got his hands tied, but it would just be so discombobulated that it's like, what are you guys trying to accomplish here?